Hey guys, how's it going? Long time no see. I miss all of you guys so very much, and I just wanted to basically record this video in line with the request that's been made, as I've seen on a Facebook post concerning the introduction of the various SIGs. My one obviously being the diversity SIG. As of the beginning of this year, well, the end of last year, beginning of this year, I was appointed as the diversity chair, and that was quite a rough time actually for everybody because nobody could anticipate for the onset of the COVID-19 outbreak. So yeah, the coronavirus has got us all very scattered, less united, at least in physical person. But we remain united in spirit, in our cause, in our objectives, in what we have devoted our lives to doing, So um, I guess one of the things that I've neglected hitherto is just explaining what the whole diversity team is set out to do, right? So, concerning the Korean ESL situation, what is diversity? In a nutshell, it's just basically a whole mix of different languages, cultures, religions, political expressions, identities, races, sexual orientations, research interests, teaching situations, teaching experiences, age groups of students, physical locations, etc., etc. The list is endless, to be quite honest. Any variable that makes us different uh, could be tantamount to diversity, contributing to diversity. And difference is the most important word there because dealing with difference can be quite a tough thing, even within the same culture, within people who grow up in the same country, the same nationality, with the same language. We might have had different experiences growing up and different types of education, and we all come to Korea as teachers with different types of contributions. So I think the main offset was just to try and get people to understand that it's okay to be different, first of all, and there should be no real orthodox one size fits all way of teaching per se. Um, and that being said, I can reflect upon my own experience. I think when I got here in 2016, there was a lot of pressure applied upon me to try and fit in with what is considered to be an orthodox good teacher. And I think I've always kind of rebelled against that. By nature, I'm quite a stubborn person, and I try and embrace difference, natural difference for what it is, and try to understand why it exists in the first instance, and try, even if I don't agree with everything, just to try and respect it for what it is without trying to constrain or limit it in any respect. So, yeah, this committee was just basically designed to try and give people a voice and a platform to express their unique difference and their identity. So, that being said, one of the things that I really want to do is get people to just speak more. So the first initiative that's been going at the moment is CoTESOL Voices, and it's a monthly publication online. So the idea is just to rotate amongst different members to let them see, just to give like people from the public as well as people within the organization an opportunity to see what it is that makes each one of us unique, what makes us tick, what our impressions are of teaching, what makes us unique as individuals, and what defines our characters. So this is actually really an appeal. It's a bit of a public service announcement and an appeal to everyone who might be interested to actually contribute. I work as an editor myself, along with Lindsay, our chair lady, our chairman. So the president and myself, we basically do the curating and editing of the submissions. So thus far, it's been going pretty well. It's very thank you so much for everybody who submitted so far. And it's good to see like people are actually expressing their opinions in different mediums, whether that be poetry, reflection on games, or short stories, or personal memoirs, that type of thing. It's very, very nice to have different ways to express how co-TESOL has impacted our lives, how teaching in Korea has impacted our lives, who we are now as opposed to who we were before we came to Korea, all of those types of things. and that shouldn't be neglected as well. I think uh, far too often teachers are overlooked as just like mechanical robots, there to do a job, there to make a salary, there to appease parents or clients, students, however they want to perceive themselves, or however the organization wants you to perceive them. Because for all of us, true teachers at heart, we have a teacher-student relationship, and yes, money is important, but at the same time, educations should trump uh, financial concerns. I guess it's getting more tough now to focus on like personal opinions and impressions in a time where there's an uncertain economic climate because of this coronavirus outbreak. People are saying, "Oh, money is more important now." Getting value for your money, getting value for our education, our children's education is much more important than some teacher trying to express himself or express herself. But at the same time, that is important as well to us as teachers to make sure that not only we are expressing ourselves, but our students, most importantly, are given an ample amount of space to express who they are and what makes them unique and diverse. Um, so it's quite multifaceted. So Co-TESOL Voices has been going since the beginning of the year. It was the president's brainchild. It was her initiative. She approached me and asked me to write a few poems, and like I did that, and I've worked in an anthology, as we call it's just entitled "One Is Not Enough." I hope to make that published as a free resource for everybody to read, as also as an initiative for reading pleasure, but also to inspire others and to encourage others just to get their writing out there. One of the things that I'm finding I'm doing obviously much more often now that I'm more homebound, I become more of a homebody, is reading a lot of books and writing. So those two things they've always been very important to me, but now they're acquiring even extra significance because my social life has taken a little bit of a knock, as I'm sure everybody else has, but that's okay. Sometimes we need a bit of introversion and we need some time to just regroup and take stock of what it is that makes us what we're all about, what we're trying to achieve with our careers, and what our personal objectives are. For me, writing has always been a very prominent part of my motivation to become a teacher, as well as to become a social critic and an intellectual and a reader. Yeah, I mean, the more I write, the more I want to read. So, like, if I'm writing a book about soul, I want to read books that other people have written about soul, fictitious characters that other people have written about soul. Or it doesn't have to be fiction; it could be non-fiction even as well. So I need to be constantly be inspired, and I guess one of the most important things for me right now in the diversity committee is to make sure that I'm always inspired by meeting other people, which obviously has its pitfalls and shortcomings with the current crisis. But we're blessed. We got 5G. Like we've got fantastic internet. We've got social media. We've got the internet, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Vimeo, we've got so many different things. I don't maybe not forget Kakao Talk, our main one. So by utilizing all these things, we can definitely showcase our identity and who we are as people. So yeah, Co-TESOL Voices is something that I want to get more people involved in, and I want to encourage people to just continue writing. It doesn't have to up to this point it's been writing, but we could even do videos. Writing's not everyone's cup of tea. You could do videos, or you could do something to that effect, or like it could even be accompanied by a photograph, perhaps. I love photography, and eliciting people's different opinions. I just want to get some feedback from people about different audiovisual material and textbook syllabi that we use in our classrooms, so that we can get a better idea of what people are finding to be advantageous, what people are finding to be challenges, what people are finding to be misrepresentations, what people are finding to be stereotypes. I just want to get some feedback in that regard. And it's, the best writing that I've seen in these Co-TESOL Voices submissions are the ones that come directly from the heart, the ones that are true and honest and unpretentious, because it doesn't have to be something very intellectual per se, or something very academic, or something very convoluted and complicated. No, that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is really just speak from the heart and speak about something that is in the line of teachers helping teachers, whether that be an epiphany that you had whilst going home on vacation, uh, an interaction that you might have had with a student in private after class. It could be so many different things. So as long as it's something that's true to yourself, that's going to edify us. Because one thing we don't want to represent to outside stakeholders is that we're all very predictable and the same, painted with the same brush. Now, I've met so many different characters. You guys are all so different. Different walks of life, different impressions, different objectives, different personal missions. If I go into any one of your Facebook pages, I see so many different things being posted. That should come into the fore in our teaching, I think, as well. So to draw off the topic of co-teacher voices, the classroom is one of the things that I want to focus on, and something that I've been neglecting, like just giving regular feedback on like how I apply principles of diversity into my lessons and how students react to that. And that's always a sticky topic because um, sometimes like dealing with different cultures on the parts of students, they see teachers come and go. I've just replaced a teacher at my new job. And as far as I know, I'm the first South African they've met. I'm the first Cape Townian they've met. Um, I'm the first person of mixed race that they've met. They don't know what to do with me. Because they don't know how to categorize me. So I'm just trying to explain to them what makes me unique as an individual, what has contributed to my education, what has contributed to my personal ethos and underlying motifs as a teacher, etc., etc. And I'm also wanting to get feedback from them as to how they perceive English education, how they wanted to empower them, what they find as their weaknesses, what they find are their strengths, what they think about the textbooks and the syllabi, what they think about movies, what they think about cultural representations, etc., etc. So this is very multifaceted, and I find that one thing that we need to do more, actually, I should do more, and sorry for this, but I've been neglecting it, is actually post more on Facebook, set up like a Facebook page and post more about what discoveries and findings I've made, what challenges I've encountered in the classroom, and also invite other co-TESOL members to try and reflect upon what's being said. And yeah, obviously the idea is not it's not a dictatorship. I'm not trying to get everybody to agree with me. I just want regular feedback. If people disagree, that's fine. It's good to have debates about different things. As iron sharpens iron. Is the more we debate something, the more we can get clarity as to what the nature of the underlying issue really is, without getting into person as to who's right or who's wrong. Because the whole thing is, in these instances, it's not really about right or wrong. It's about just appreciating the beauty of difference. Um, so yeah, like a lot of as a precursor to the development of the SIG, there's been a lot of initiatives. One of which being uh, the people of color, um, the people of color SIG, the people of color group, and that was basically um, like a precursor to this. It was something that was necessary, and the legacy still lives on because um, giving a voice to people who are marginalized is important. One group that is marginalized is people of color. Still even. Um, so like it's good to get more voices from people of color in about what's going on in their classrooms, racial stereotypes, misinformation about that underpin and underlie the perpetuation of such stereotypes that need to come out a bit more. At the same time, though, I'd like for this diversity committee to be accessible to each and every person, regardless of your race or ethnicity. That's good because that's ancillary to the principle of diversity. The principle of diversity being that we're all different. Everybody can lay claim to being different, regardless of which nationality or ethnicity or race you are. So yeah, I just want to focus a bit more on that, and it would be nice to see how different different interactions with students can be documented at different levels. So for those of us who teach kindergarten students, it'll be nice to see how differences encountered and assimilated at that level, moving up to the elementary level, moving up to the middle school level, moving up to high school, moving up to university, at all the different levels of university, be it sophomore up to PhD level, whichever on the spectrum. So, um, so yeah, that will be nice to establish, and it's so multifaceted because it can you can categorize it on a national level, on a continental level, on an international level, and you can look at a lot of different things that come into play there. Uh, excuse me. So yeah, that's one of the things that I want to focus on a lot as well. Um, yeah, apart from that, syllabi are also important. I still want to continue. Um, I still want to continue analyzing syllabi. I've been quite fascinated with a lot of the different textbooks that have been used in the Korean Private Language Academy arena. And I think I should focus more a bit on like textbooks that are used at university level, also at the EPIC level. So yeah, for those of you who have extracts or photographs to share with me for analytical purposes, please, um, yeah, feel free to share with me. I will post my email address, and then yeah, we could definitely get into debates concerning that, because I think there needs to be a bit of a reform that's with the education system that's going on now, particularly as things are moving towards online learning. I think um, there's more scope for lessons to be less anchored by archaic um, and irrelevant textbooks that are completely outdated and don't have a place in the modern economic and linguistic Korean landscape, Korean ESL landscape. You know, there's an economic revolution going on. There's a gender revolution going on. There is um, a job role and occupation revolution going on. There's a biomedical revolution going on. There's a lot of stuff. There are a lot of things happening, and teachers such as yourself and myself need to keep it fresh and interesting and relevant for students and accessible, particularly those who are very young, who don't need to be constrained by canonical approaches. I don't think that's relevant at all. So the classroom needs to be changed quite a lot. That being said, um, yeah, there are other things that this diversity committee needs to develop. Committee being the operative word. Like I would be very thankful to a lot of the people who have supported. It's just we do need more people. So this is also a public service announcement to those who want to get involved. I would like more people involved. So yeah, definitely my forte, based on my university qualification and my personal interest, which come from my university qualification, which is a degree in English literature, and a bachelor's in English literature and an MA in TESOL. I'm interested mostly in literature and theatre. Theatre was the other major. Um, so my focuses are basically on that. And they're always anchored by something in writing or something performed on the stage. So as I'm sure you guys are quite well aware, a lot of my approaches are about poetry, short stories, memoirs, novellas, travel journals, diaries, that type of thing, and plays. Yeah. Um, so play scripts are very important as well, but this committee, this SIG needs to be a bit more comprehensive than that. I'd like to have expressions about, it could be anything. It could be film. It could be music. Um, it could be fashion even. The words, the English words that appear on fashionable items. T-shirts, pants, etc., etc. How does that showcase diversity? Any platform in which English as a foreign language finds a meaningful place and showcases diversity, that's what we should be focusing on. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. advertising is another thing that I haven't focused on, because that type of stuff, even if we're not watching television in our classrooms, the kids are watching TV, and they're coming to school with that mindset that's been engendered from exposure to television. That needs to be analyzed. So the lesson doesn't end just within these four walls of a classroom. No, it goes much further. There's an overspill into people's homes, into people's families, into their interactions with each other, into their private thoughts. Even I want all of that to come through. I really want that to come through from firstly from the perspective of teachers living and working in Korea, as well as students, Korean students who we encounter on a daily basis. So let's see how that works. I mean, it doesn't have to be just limited to that as well, especially in light of the upcoming national conference that's happening online, and the international conference that's exposed. Those words are the international conference. We get to see people from all over the world. Why don't we get the opinions from people from all over the world as to what they feel should be changed, or um, is a cool thing or not such a good thing about the diversity landscape of Korea. Yeah, so there's a lot of things to be done, um, and I think it's been quite neglected. And we can change that. We can change that with a united effort, particularly if we communicate with each other more frequently, and if we make a more concerted effort to get positive feedback. Or it doesn't have to even be positive feedback; it can be any type of feedback from students regarding what makes us different. And as apart from difference, what are the commonplaces that we share? Those commonplaces are also, even if they're the antithesis of diversity, those should also be given. They should be given a platform as well. I think so. Um, so yeah, I want to get more like publications going. I do a lot of writing on my own. I want to get some of that published. I want to get some of your ideas and your writing published. I want people to record more videos, such as I'm doing now. Even if it doesn't have to be at this length, it just could be a 5-minute video about personal impressions that you've had about. It could be anything. It could be a political issue, a book that's published, something that you watched on TV, a K-pop music video. Um, Anything that might to me that's relevant. The differences between what defines being a Canadian teacher as opposed to an Irish teacher, and how students perceive that. All of these types of things. I really want to put more emphasis on this, and so that certain things can be demystified, and focus can be given to a new way to go into the future. Um, so yeah, let's see what happens. It's a bit sad because I can't really get to see you guys as much as as much as I would like, and I'm sure as much as you would like. Um, I mean, the most beautiful thing about diversity is really meeting people in person. Like getting to see hearing firsthand what's going on in your life, what makes you excited, what challenges you're going through in your classroom, in your personal life. That for me was fantastic, and I definitely look forward to the next time when we have that opportunity. In the meantime, however, we've got to just keep pushing through and utilize this time a bit more optimally. As for social media, also one thing I did plan to do, and this is something I can do no matter regardless of the COVID-19 outbreak, is to try and get messages across on different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. What else? Kakao Talk. A whole lot of different things, and videos maybe on Vimeo or YouTube, something to that effect. So I'm very sorry that I have been a bit slack with that. My winter has been quite busy. I've been working on like a lot of different projects, and also moving up to Seoul, now being based in Seoul as well. Um, yeah, now that I'm a bit more settled, I think I can focus a bit more on regularly contributing to issues pertaining to the group, and to the matters, like the matters at hand. And let's see what goes on. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to touch on before I forget is that yes, the diversity sig doesn't act in isolation. Diversity has got like I mentioned earlier, so many overlaps. So gender equality could be one of them. Social justice could be one of them. Another room for overlap. Environmental like there's so many different ways in which um, findings and research undertaken under the auspices of diversity could be relevant to the other groups as well. So yeah, it would be nice to start posting stuff and then maybe forward and share to different code TESOL pages and stuff. So let's see what happens and let's try and get that going soon. In the meantime, right now, uh, one thing that's on my mind is obviously just like the national conference is coming up, and what I want to do is I want to develop some really interesting topics of discussion for lecture purposes, interactive lectures that are geared towards sensitivity towards COVID-19 and how um, how education should be flexible to be accommodating of that. So yeah, I will be doing some more videos as well, and I'll be sharing them with you guys as well. And yeah, we will be definitely seeing each other at the national conference in the virtual hangout space. Um, Unfortunately, the international conference won't be happening until next year. Mm. But yeah, there's still we got to not lose heart and not lose morale. Um, let's embrace technology and let's try and see how we can do a lot of like interlapping interactions with each other to um, to bolster solidarity more than anything else. I think solidarity has taken a big knock at the moment. Many people are feeling very despondent with the situation, feeling very precarious. Um, let's let's say that let's let people know that even though you feel that way, you're not alone. Diverse. We're diverse, but we stand as one. Out of many comes one. One love of education, one love of living in a foreign country, one love of interacting with our students, one love of CoTESOL, one love, um, and just one pride, one joy. So sometimes we need to unite ourselves against with one common message, even if we are very different. You know, look at the things that unite us. We're like, okay, we can all be different, but let's see what unites us. Um, so things are going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to get through this, and one day we'll be stronger at the end of it. Um, I look forward to the times when this is all over and we can see each other in person and we can reflect upon how much we've missed each other and how different we've grown since we last saw each other. Each and every day I can feel myself going through a metamorphosis. I can feel I'm growing as a teacher. I'm diversifying. And when I started out teaching here, I was just teaching English conversation. Now I'm teaching. 4 years later, I'm teaching gym class, art class, science class. What else am I doing? There's another one. Speaking and debate. What else was there's another one? Mathematics. I became a mathematics teacher recently, something that I really hated. So being put into an uncomfortable position can bring out the best in us. So yeah, that's something I also want to reflect, you know, diversity through adversity. That's one of my main missions. One of my mantras, one of my mottos is for 2020 is diversity through adversity. And I always almost forgot the words, but they came right at the end of this video because I'm just about to round up. We're going through a tough time, but this tough time can bring out some very different and unique things that were dormant within us. I want people to reflect upon what those things are. If people can write about them, if people can talk about them at conferences, if people can share them with others and inspire others to share those same things and elicit those responses from audience members, and inspire them to go on to write their own articles and to do their own presentations on that topic. That'll be fantastic. That'll really, really be fantastic. So, because adversity just makes us stronger, guys. Really, honestly, we're going to be fine with this and we're going to become better people. Yeah, I can really feel it. Guys, I miss you so much. You're always in my heart, always in my mind, in my thoughts, and in my heart. I'm the Roundup, and I'm going to say good night, and that's it for now. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.